name is Wes Nelson. You're listening to The Measured Pencil. Welcome to a special bonus monologue episode of The Measured Pencil. We recently surpassed 100 episodes. I am thrilled, amazed, astonished, grateful, blessed to have that many episodes under our belt. Anyway, to get on with the monologue for today, I get to have surgery next week. I'm having surgery. I want to have my umbilical hernia repaired. According to doctors and my surgeon, I did talk to 2 doctors and a surgeon. I don't have to have this fixed. Apparently, this is very common. Apparently, a lot of people have this. Apparently, this is something that the human body just has as part of its structure and its sort of code. It's just one of those things that, evolution or biology gets a lot of things right. And there's just a couple things that maybe aren't as perfect, aren't as great. And this is one of those deals. So basically the umbilical region, after the cord has been severed and the resultant tag, I don't know what to call it, stump, falls off, you're left with some scar tissue which seals over the abdominal cavity. At that point, when that heals over, that's what you get. So for the rest of your life, you're dealing with that scar tissue, and it can be weak, it can be strong. Mine apparently has a tiny hole in it. My surgeon called it the smallest hernia he's seen, and he's done a lot of these. So I felt a little bit of shame around that because it feels very big to me. I first discovered this hernia when I was in the shower, and I noticed there was a bump or protrusion near my belly button where there wasn't one before, and I almost passed out. I wanted to vomit. I needed to put my head between my knees and kind of collect myself. This sort of thing very much grosses me out. I'm very squeamish around body stuff. I can't watch Dr. Pimple Popper. I haven't broke a bone, knock on wood, knock on all the wood. If I do break a bone, I will probably be asked to be put into a medically induced coma for the duration of the initial fixing period where they set the bone, and I don't want to see. Anyway, knocking on all the wood. Anyway, found the hernia and immediately freaked out, Googled it, hoping against hope that there was maybe some other explanation, but I knew it was a hernia. My dad had several hernias. I remember him talking about them and having surgery on them, and it felt like one of those hereditary gifts, in quotation marks, that I was going to receive at some point, like putting a gift on layaway that I would receive at some point down the line. And my time came up right around my 40th birthday. Read into that what you will. I certainly did. So here we are with a hernia that bugs me, doesn't pop out all the time, but does, and is annoying to me. Again, I go to the doctor. The doctor is like, I can't see my normal doctor for about 6 weeks. And we can get into the wonders of our U.S. healthcare system and how broken it is, but that's maybe a different podcast, or a different person should speak on that. I found a doctor. So I guess on the flip side, I did find a doctor that I could see within a couple days. I saw that person. He assured me that this is normal. This happens. It's not a big deal. It's something that if I want, I can get it repaired, or I don't have to. I could live the rest of my life with it. Just have to occasionally tuck my insides back inside of me occasionally, which if that sentence grosses you out as much as it does me, then it's something that you probably would want to take care of as much as I wanted to take care of it immediately. So that doctor, calms me down, but he does give me a referral for a surgeon. And if I want, I can go take care of it. I have a race coming up that I'm worried about. So after that doctor's appointment, I'm set to run a half marathon in New York about 5 days later. And I'm freaking out because I have a hernia. Can I even run? Can I even take this trip? This is like a once in a lifetime trip. This is a once in a lifetime race for me. I won admission into this trip. into this race. This isn't something that I would have ever done. I just saw it on Instagram and I entered a drawing and I won. And I get to go be in this half marathon that starts in Brooklyn. It ends in Central Park. It goes through Times Square. I've never been to New York. This is amazing. And now I have a hernia. Can I even go? Can I even race? All these outcomes are going through my head. Maybe I just go. Maybe I don't run. That would suck. Anyway, doctor assures me I can run. In fact, he hopes that I do run because he doesn't want me to reduce or change my activity. Apparently, sometimes he's seen that where people develop these hernias and they become fearful and they stop doing any activity because they don't want to pop out. And I can certainly understand that. It does seem to happen through activity. So I get that. So anyway, he clears me to go. He says that I could get a special band. It's like a belt with a inverse or inverted plug that's supposed to go over the hernia and hold the insides inside. I buy one. I try it on. It's weird. I don't know. It's got this weird like mushroom kind of dimple thing that, yeah. Anyway, I don't like it, but I bring it. I have it. I run the race. Everything's fine. I even forget about the hernia. It's amazing. New York is awesome. If you haven't gone, please go. It's absolutely astonishing. I need to go back again. I met up with my cousin who I haven't seen in a while. Shout out to Dylan. We had some excellent ramen. It was great. Now I'm thinking like, do I need to get this repaired? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. And sure enough, hernia pops out, just as grossed out, just as ready to pass out, ready to like vomit everything out of my body and just crawling out of my skin. So I immediately call the surgeon. I get the appointment on. I just need to get something on the calendar. Get the appointment on the calendar, the pre-op or whatever, the initial appointment. Go do that. That's where I get the news that it's very tiny, that normally they use some kind of mesh to cover the hernia and create like a barrier. But he says with mine, they might even be able to just do a couple stitches. So I'm heartened by that because it means less of a procedure, shorter recovery. But also I'm kind of like shamed at like, oh, it's just a baby hernia, like whatever. I don't know. So yeah, that's coming up. I'm about to have that surgery. I'm a little nervous. I'm very nervous. I had some surgeries when I was a kid on my ears. Had lots of ear tubes and problems with ear infections. So had tubes put in, had perforated eardrums from infections. So had patches put on my eardrums. And so going to the ear doctor was always like deciding my fate because he was going to look in there and tell me if I needed to have surgery again. And the whole process of having surgery wasn't fun for me. And I think I can pinpoint, or you know how you like unpack or look at your life and figure out, like, trace back your traumas or your triggers or just stuff, just bad stuff. And you're like, where does that come from? Where does that unease or that anxiety stem from that I have now? Because it's usually something from childhood that sort of magnifies over time. And it's some kind of overreaction that used to be some sort of survival instinct that no longer serves me. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out why I don't like surgery. What is it about that? And I think a lot of it has to do with the losing control. It has something to do with being put under and not knowing, and just I don't know. I haven't really figured a lot of this out yet, but I just know I don't like it. Right now, I'm sort of in that mode where I'm trying to take things one day at a time, prepare myself as much as I can, but not dwell on it. The future is not guaranteed. It hasn't happened yet. And there's only so much that I can do. After I prepare or do whatever I can, everything after that seems like wasted effort. And I don't want to dwell or regret or rue things that haven't happened yet. So I am in that mode now. I think it'll be okay. And if not, what's the worst that can happen? I die, I guess. That'd be horrible. Yeah, obviously. But I think one of the ways I cope with these types of things is I think about the worst possible outcome, talk myself down from that. And it generally makes things better because the worst thing usually never happens. Yeah. Something about control, something about just not being in charge of my own body, completely surrendering to somebody else, the surgeon who's going to then cut your tissue and go inside. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and it just sucks because it sucks. Maybe there's not some grand hidden secret at the bottom of the ocean on this one. Maybe it just is that. So I don't know. I'm rambling now. I just wanted to drop this in as, I guess, my way of coping or my processes or whatever that I'm learning lately about how to deal with bad stuff that's coming up and what are some methods. Because, it's normal to be anxious for this type of stuff. There's a shame around that where if you start trying to decide or label what's normal anxiety and what's not, then you start feeling bad for having anxiety. And that's just a spiral that is not necessary. It's not helpful. I think what I've learned recently is that if I'm feeling scared or anxious or nervous, I talk to myself and say, yeah, I can see that you're scared. I can see that you're anxious. And that's bound to happen because of what you're about to experience or what your past experience has led you to this point. So it would be appropriate to feel nervous or anxious or scared about something that's going to happen that you don't like from your childhood that is coming up again in adulthood. Yeah. I will see you all on the other side. Actually, I won't see you, but you'll hear me on the other side of this thing. It'll be fine. Now I'm just being dramatic, which is kind of fun. Anyway, have a great day. Be grateful as much as you can. The future's not guaranteed, and all we do really have is the present moment.
This was The Measured Pencil with Wes Nelson and Stephen Murray. Theme song and additional music composed and performed by Josh Baumgartner. Additional production support by Two Desk Productions. If you want to see what the pencils look like, please follow us on Instagram at The Measured Pencil. If you'd like to share your pencil story, please record a short audio file, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, and email it to us at themeasuredpencil@gmail.com. Or if you'd like us to review your favorite pencil, please email us with the name and it might appear on a future episode. Thanks for listening.